My name is Hannah Hill. I am from the communications class with Professor Holland, and today I will be talking about a job that I wouldn't necessarily have, but would be really intriguing to have. So imagine you get a phone call at 3 a.m. The police, they call you, you grab your briefcase, you head down to the scene. In your briefcase, you have gloves, tongs, etc. And as you're examining this crime scene, you're looking at the hair, footsteps, and you're bringing all of these things together. This is what a normal CSI or crime scene investigator goes through every single day. These people, they work 7 days, 8-hour shifts, and they manage their stress. Normally, we work 40 hours a week. These people, they're working their 7 full days and 8 hours all the time, every single day. They are heroes and they love this career because they're constantly convicting felons, they're finding new evidence, and they're bringing in these horrible people into jail, which is where they should be, of course. But there's certain things and certain characteristics that these people need to have in order to be able to do this job. So these people have to be strong-willed. So as they go through, they see horrible, horrible crime scenes. They have to be super strong because at the end of the day, they go to their family, and they also they probably have a lot of anxiety as well because they see all of these murders happening constantly, and they're always like, well, what if this happens to me or my family? So these people, they're amazing, and they think on a completely different level than normal people would because they bring in these horrible crimes to their family, but they still have normal lives with their family, which is a completely crazy thing to think about because personally, if I was doing that job, I would never be able to come home to my family and think oh my gosh, this could happen to them, but they can because they're amazing people. They also know how to manage their stress really well because of course they work those 8 hours. I only work 25 hours a week at my job and I get stressed out, so I wouldn't even be able to imagine working 7 days a week, 8 hours. I would probably rip my hair out of how much stress, and these people are amazing because they manage that so well. They also have to be able to analyze different things from the crime scene. I know most of us probably have really simple minds, and we think you know what, we probably think when we look at a footstep, we're oh, this comes from this. But they look at the tread on the shoe, they look up the size, they look up to see if it's from a woman or a man, and they look at this stuff without even self-consciously knowing that when we probably don't.
It's amazing, Hannah. Tell us more.
So the degrees and requirements for CSI, of course you have to have a high school diploma, and then that gets them into college, and they either major in criminal justice or natural science, or they're minor in one of those. Criminal justice is something that they would need because, of course, they work with the police, and that's something that they need to get familiar with is how the criminal justice system works. The natural science also comes in because most of the CSI job is based on science. They also can't be a felon, of course, when you're working with the police officers, and they also have and you can't have a serious misdemeanor. Most people, they have their police training, and then they go into a specific CSI field into that police training, and a lot of the people that are crime scene investigators are policemen already or detectives, so they already have that kind of analysis where policemen do, and they know how to assess crime scenes and assess things a lot differently than a normal person would. They also need to have communication skills when they come along with this as well. They have to have public speaking because when they sit in court and they're talking about all of this evidence that they have, they need to be able to talk in front of hundreds of people sometimes in their courtrooms, And they also have to have analytical skills because they have to be able to explain in terms of science, and they also need to explain it in layman's terms too, so explain it for us. And then in conclusion, these people are heroes. They go through so much all day long. They manage stress, they use communication skills, and they use so many different things to help them do their job, and it also helps us because without these CSIs, we'd have hundreds of murderers walking around and we'd be scared for our lives. So these people actually help us so much by putting those horrible criminals away. And I would love to have a career like this, but for me personally, I could never, because I'm not a superhero and I wouldn't be able to see those horrible scenes and then take them home to my family. And then I did get my sources from, we have an International Journal of Police and Science Management, and that helps, and that talked about the managing stress and how they manage stress a lot differently than we do. And then the Forensic College and the Crime Scene Investigation, edu.org, that talks about just like the salary and like what kind of you need and what the job description is about. So thank you guys for coming. I appreciate it.